Timur, what a fight. Thanks for joining after more than 7 hours. Looked like your opponent was willing to win in that endgame, but at some point after d5, what were your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it was a very tricky middle game somehow, and I think that, yeah, at first it seemed that it's a like kind of slow game, but then with our amazing creativity, some crazy opportunities for both sides probably arose, and yeah, I missed I think knight f4, and he was kind of upset about it, I think, and yeah, should have played it. But in general, it was like super hard game in terms of he avoided draw at some point, and I think that that was probably a good decision in general, because I mean, in general, I think that both of us will have to play. But in my opinion, in my position, I think I didn't have anything special, so I just thought that I have to stand, because otherwise I'm certainly not better. The knight is coming to g4 all the time. Pawn on e5, I have to defend it, and yeah, I don't know, like super tricky game. So hard to say. At the end, it was also, I mean, 3 times we got into the tight knot, so yeah, okay, yeah, we deserved it.
And back to where it all started, how happy or satisfied were you with your opening preparation today?
I didn't care at all, to be honest. Just, I mean, I didn't really prepare much for the game, because I mean, every day here, I'm like playing for 7 hours more or less, and like finishing almost last all the time. And yeah, I just did all the pretty normal moves, like h6, a6, and wasn't much of preparation. But then just got this kind of middle game where you have white pawns a4 before, slight pressure, and if black plays precisely, it's okay, but it's hard to play precisely, so that's why the game ended in 7 hours.
Speaking of several time troubles, yesterday in the studio we had Hikaru, and he mentioned that perhaps if it wasn't for absence of extra 30 seconds, you would not have lost that game against him, and for instance, other players wouldn't have scrambled. What do you think about the time control here?
I think it's pretty normal, classical time control. And I mean, we've played with it for many, many years. So I don't know, it's very complicated analysis by Hikaru. I think it's just a normal tournament, like usual. I think we've played 2 hours all the time. And I think for a long time in Vaikanze as well, they kept the same control for the World Championship it's used. But well, I mean, every player goes for shorter time controls. Everyone wants to work less. So that's probably the point.
But speaking of this particular feature that there is no increments, 30 seconds, does that change something for you, or you just adapt to whatever format it is?
No, doesn't change much. I mean, it's like I had this anyway third control where you have the increment. So I'm kind of lucky person here to have this increments sometimes. So yeah, nothing special. I mean, you can play badly with both controls and good as well. So yeah, just about the general playing condition.
And perhaps one last question aside from that. In one of the interviews, you mentioned that you consider yourself as an introvert, and yet there was a moment you were streaming. So do you think you might resume that activity?
Well, I just generally think that, I mean, there are not only extroverts that are streaming. And yeah, I'm introvert, I think, by nature, but I'm an extrovert when I mean, there are some friends, of course, and the close circle and so on. But streaming, yeah, I liked it somehow. Yeah, it made me maybe more extrovert during the pandemic. So that was kind of cool experience. A lot of fans also from my home country, from India as well, and many others that are still, writing all the time, wherever I'm playing, whenever, whichever tournament, and so on. So yeah, I'm quite happy about that experience. Certainly want to be back to the streaming, and yeah, just very good feelings about streaming. I think it made me, how to say, I think that I discovered some of the new things, like in my life in general, with all this interaction with the fans. I think I didn't have any sort of interaction like this, like on the streams. And I made a lot of streams as well when I'm just answering the questions and so on of the audience, because they usually send it to Instagram or somewhere else, and then it's hard to answer, especially that sometimes I just get like the messages that you have to read a few days. so it's not so easy to reply immediately. Yeah, so like this, yeah, made me a bit more extrovert. Yeah.
That's a perfect note to finish our conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.